All right, so it's a regular Friday morning in New Canaan, Connecticut, May 24th, 2019. Jennifer Dulos gets in her black Chevy Suburban, drops off her 5 kids at school. It's the kind of routine she's done 1,000 times. Mom mode, messy bun, checklists running in her head. Except this time, she never comes home. She's supposed to go to a doctor's appointment at 11 a.m. She doesn't show. By 1 p.m., she's not answering texts. By 7 p.m., her friends are panicking, and when the police pull up to her house and walk into that garage, they find blood. A lot of it. Smeared, splattered, pooled. There are cleaning supplies tossed to the side, like someone tried to mop it all up, and then gave up. Jennifer Dulos has officially vanished, and the scene says one thing loud and clear. She didn't leave on her own. Let's rewind the clock. Jennifer wasn't just a mom of 5. She was a writer, Yale-educated, raised in a wealthy New York family. Her life looked polished from the outside, but for the last 2 years, she was living in survival mode. Her marriage to Fotis Dulos was imploding. Now, Fotis wasn't just some suburban dad. He was a real estate developer, flashy, arrogant, competitive to the point of obsession. He ran a luxury home building company, drove flashy cars, chased wealth like it was oxygen. And he was having an affair. Not a secret one either. Open, brazen. With a woman named Troconis, a former TV host from Venezuela. Jennifer files for divorce in 2017. She takes the kids and moves to New Canaan. She tells the court that Fotis is dangerous, that he has a Jekyll and Hyde personality, that she fears for her safety. She even writes in a motion, "I am afraid of my husband. I know that filing for divorce and filing this motion will enrage him." And then she starts documenting everything. Emails, phone calls, legal filings. She's building a paper trail because deep down she knows something's coming. Now, back to May 24th. Police seize Jennifer's car, still in the driveway. No signs of a break-in. But inside the garage, they find blood. Not a little, not a drop. It's a crime scene. There's a clear sign of a violent struggle, blood splatter patterns, and evidence of someone trying to clean it up. Bleach, paper towels, buckets. And here's the first twist. The DNA in the blood, it belongs to Jennifer and Fotis Dulos. So now police turn their eyes to the one man with the biggest motive. The man she was fighting in court for custody. The man who owed her millions. The man who stood to lose everything. And the next day, they find him on surveillance footage, throwing garbage bags into public dumpsters all over Hartford. If you're still watching, you're already in deep. Go ahead. Like, comment, and subscribe before this gets even more twisted. You don't want to miss how this one ends. Let's keep going. The footage is grainy but unmistakable. Fotis Dulos is seen in a black Ford Raptor, pulling into random parking lots along a stretch of Albany Avenue in Hartford. It's late, nightfall. He gets out with bags in hand, heads to public trash bins, and casually dumps them. Over and over. At least 30 stops in total. And he's not alone. Walking right alongside him is Troconis, his girlfriend. She's helping him toss out the bags, like they're just clearing out a garage. They don't look rushed. They don't look panicked. They look like people who think no one's watching, but someone was. CCTV cameras catch the whole thing. And when police go back the next day to dig through those public bins, they hit the jackpot. Inside the bags, zip ties, gloves, a stained t-shirt, cleaning sponges soaked in Jennifer's blood. Clothing and towels soaked in DNA from both Jennifer and Fotis. Some of the bags are already at the city incinerator by the time investigators track them. But enough survive. Enough to paint the picture. Jennifer Dulos was attacked, her body removed, and then someone tried to erase her. And as police begin digging deeper into Fotis's behavior, his timeline, his phone records, his conversations, they find something even more bizarre. In his office, folded neatly into a folder, an Alibi script, handwritten, carefully mapped out. 2 versions of events, timelines, where he said he was, where Michelle said she was, matching details, phrases, timestamps, all in sync. They had rehearsed their lies on paper, like lines in a play. And now investigators are sure. This wasn't panic. This wasn't rage. This was planned. Michelle gets pulled in for questioning. She starts off calm, but it doesn't last. Detectives confront her with the footage, the bags, the timeline, the script. And that's when she cracks. Just a little. She says, "I don't know what was in those bags." She says Fotis told her it was just garbage. She says she trusted him. But the story doesn't hold. because every move she made that night wasn't the move of someone unaware. They charge her with conspiracy to commit murder. Fotis is already facing tampering with evidence, but the evidence is stacking fast, and while the courtroom starts heating up, the one thing no one can find is Jennifer. Her body's still missing, no grave, no remains, no goodbye. The blood in the garage says she couldn't have survived. The volume of it, the spatter, the drag marks, it's the kind of violence you don't walk away from. But without a body, there's still a gap. And Fotis? He clings to that gap. He says she staged her own disappearance, that she was desperate, that she ran away to frame him, and it sounds insane. But without a body, there's just enough space for doubt. And that space for doubt? Fotis clings to it like it's a life raft. He does interviews, press releases. His attorney holds media briefings with statements like, "Jennifer is alive. She is in hiding. This is a setup." They lean into the absence of a body like it's their defense strategy. Because legally, it kind of is. No body means no murder charge, yet. But behind the scenes, investigators aren't sitting still. They're building the timeline piece by piece. And what they find next? It burns through the last thread of Fotis's version of the story. They start analyzing phone pings, security cameras, witness accounts, and they notice something sharp, a 2-hour window the morning Jennifer disappeared. During that time, Fotis left his home in Farmington and drove toward New Canaan. His phone was off. His car was swapped with one borrowed from a colleague. And when that car is searched, they find traces of Jennifer's blood in the back seat. Traces so small, they could have easily been missed. But they weren't. And now, it's over. Authorities charge Fotis Dulos with capital murder, and kidnapping. Michelle Troconis is charged with conspiracy to commit murder, tampering with evidence, and hindering prosecution. And a third name enters the spotlight, Kent Mohini, a former attorney, a friend of Fotis, and suddenly, a co-conspirator. He's linked to bizarre behavior, like trying to establish an alibi for Fotis, and worse, possibly helping him dispose of the body. Now 3 people are facing serious charges, but only one has the answers everyone wants. January 2020. Fotis is out on bond under house arrest. The court case is gaining national attention. The pressure's building. The evidence is airtight. And Fotis knows this is it. He misses a scheduled court appearance. Police rush to his house, and when they open the garage, they find him inside his SUV, unresponsive. A note on the passenger seat. Fotis Dulos had attempted to take his own life. He's rushed to the hospital. They try to save him, but 2 days later, he's declared dead. His final note says, "I refuse to spend even an hour more in jail for something I had nothing to do with. I did not harm Jennifer." But no one's buying it, because if he were innocent, why the bags? Why the blood? Why the alibi script? Why the drive? Why the note? Michelle Troconis' trial is delayed for years. But when it finally hits the courtroom in 2024, the prosecution comes prepared. They show everything: the surveillance footage, the evidence in the garbage bags, the alibi notes, the lies. They walk the jury through the timeline minute by minute. Michelle pleads not guilty, but the jury sees through it. She's found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and sentenced to 14 years in prison. And Jennifer? Her body has never been found. She was declared legally dead in 2023, but for her children, for her mother Gloria, who's been raising them since, there's no closure, no funeral, no headstone, just a date on the calendar, a house full of memories, and a hole that will never be filled. The case shattered Connecticut. It reshaped laws. Jennifer's law was passed in her honor, expanding the definition of domestic violence to include coercive control. Because Jennifer saw it coming. She tried to warn the court. She told everyone that Fotis was dangerous, and the system didn't listen until it was too late. Now her story is more than a case. It's a legacy. It's a warning. It's a reminder that not all monsters hide in the dark. Sometimes they smile, file custody motions, and tell you everything's fine, until one morning, you're just gone. That's the story. Now I want to hear what you think. Drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.